centuries, humanity has looked to the stars in search of answers about its origins. Among the most mysterious and controversial theories in ancient history is the story of the Anunnaki, a race of powerful beings mentioned in the Sumerian tablets. According to ancient Mesopotamian records, these beings came from a distant planet called Nibiru, descending to Earth thousands of years ago. They were described as gods, giants, and rulers, wielding advanced knowledge of astronomy, agriculture, and technology far beyond the capabilities of early human civilizations. The question that lingers today is simple yet profound. What if their bloodline never disappeared? What if the Anunnaki descendants are still living among us in plain sight? The Sumerian civilization, considered the cradle of modern society, left behind detailed accounts of the Anunnaki. Their texts describe these beings as tall, radiant, and possessing extraordinary abilities. They were not just mythical figures, but leaders who established systems of governance, taught humans the secrets of farming, mathematics, and even architecture. Many researchers have claimed that the sudden rise of human civilization cannot be explained by random chance. It required a spark, a transfer of knowledge from an advanced race. That spark, they argue, came from the Anunnaki. If this is true, then their genetic imprint could still be within us today. Over time, the story of the Anunnaki became entangled with myths of gods and demigods in various cultures. In Greek mythology, we hear of the Titans and Olympians. In Egypt, we see depictions of towering gods with animal heads. In India, we hear of celestial beings called devas. Across cultures, there is a striking similarity: powerful, otherworldly figures who once ruled among humans, then retreated but promised to return. Could all these myths be fragments of the same truth, the truth of the Anunnaki? And if so, are their descendants subtly shaping human history in the modern era? Many theorists suggest that the bloodlines of kings, pharaohs, and ruling families across history were deliberately kept intact to preserve the Anunnaki heritage. The concept of divine right of kings was not just symbolic. It may have been a coded acknowledgement of their celestial ancestry. From the Sumerian kings to the Egyptian pharaohs, from the Mayan rulers to European monarchs, all carried a claim of being chosen by the gods. Could this divine heritage actually mean they were descendants of the Anunnaki? Some researchers argue that even today, the world's most powerful families, those controlling politics, finance, and religion, may secretly trace their lineage back to these ancient visitors. The idea becomes even more compelling when we consider the modern fascination with genetics. Scientists have discovered unusual sequences in human DNA, sometimes referred to as junk DNA, that do not seem to serve a purpose. Could these be remnants of ancient genetic manipulation? Ancient Sumerian tablets claim that the Anunnaki created humans by blending their own DNA with that of early hominids, crafting a species designed for labor yet capable of evolving. If that is true, then humanity itself is a hybrid race, and certain bloodlines might carry stronger traces of this extraterrestrial heritage. One of the most debated topics is the presence of elongated skulls found in ancient burial sites, particularly in Paracas, Peru. Unlike artificially deformed skulls, which were shaped through binding, these skulls show a larger cranial volume and unusual bone structure. Some researchers claim these skulls could be evidence of Anunnaki hybrids, physical proof that beings with a different genetic code once walked among us. If these beings once lived openly, Then perhaps their descendants adapted over time, blending into human society while retaining hidden traits. Another argument comes from symbolism. Throughout history, recurring motifs such as the pine cone, the serpent, and the winged disc appear across civilizations separated by oceans and centuries. These symbols are often associated with gods, knowledge, and immortality. In modern times, they are still present in secret societies, elite organizations, and even corporate logos. Could this be a subtle way for the descendants of the Anunnaki to mark their influence and preserve their legacy? The continuity of such symbols suggests that those who hold power may be connected to a lineage far older than mainstream history admits. But if the Anunnaki descendants exist today, where are they? Some researchers believe they are hidden among the global elite, guiding humanity's technological progress while maintaining control over resources. Others propose that they live among ordinary people, indistinguishable in appearance, but carrying unusual intelligence, creativity, or charisma that sets them apart. Certain individuals throughout history, great inventors, visionary leaders, and even controversial figures, are sometimes suspected of having something more in their bloodline, a spark that could be traced back to the Anunnaki. This leads us to a fascinating question. Could the Anunnaki descendants be influencing humanity's current path toward space exploration, artificial intelligence, and genetic engineering? If the Anunnaki once came to Earth and uplifted human civilization, perhaps their descendants feel an obligation, or even a hidden mission, to guide humanity once again, this time toward the stars. Some argue that the sudden acceleration of technology in the past century is not coincidental. The leap from horse-drawn carriages to space travel, from primitive tools to quantum computing, seems almost too rapid to be natural. Could this progress be the work of hidden descendants pushing humanity forward? Still, skepticism is inevitable. Mainstream historians and scientists dismiss the Anunnaki theory as pseudoscience or myth. They argue that human progress can be explained by cultural exchange, survival instinct, and gradual evolution. Yet, the coincidences, the recurring myths, and the unexplained archaeological anomalies keep the debate alive. Why do so many ancient cultures describe gods descending from the heavens, teaching knowledge, and interbreeding with humans? Why do we find megalithic structures aligned with celestial bodies, built with precision we can barely replicate today? These mysteries continue to raise suspicion that the Anunnaki narrative may hold more truth than we are willing to accept. If, indeed, the Anunnaki descendants are still among us, their influence may not always be benevolent. Some theories suggest that while certain bloodlines guide humanity toward progress, others may manipulate society for control and dominance. Wars, economic collapses, and political struggles could be part of a greater plan. A plan shaped by beings whose perspective of time and power extends far beyond human comprehension. The possibility that unseen hands, tracing back to ancient gods, are pulling the strings of history is both fascinating and unsettling. As we close the first part of this exploration, one thing is clear: the Anunnaki story refuses to fade into obscurity. Instead, it grows stronger with every discovery, every unexplained artifact, and every ancient text that surfaces. Whether myth, metaphor, or hidden truth, the Anunnaki narrative forces us to reconsider what we think we know about our past, and perhaps about our present. In the next part, we will dive deeper into the signs, that might reveal the presence of Anunnaki descendants. Today, the evidence hidden in plain sight and what it could mean for the future of humanity. As we continue this exploration, the mystery of the Anunnaki becomes even more compelling when we look at the world around us today. If their descendants are truly among us, then they are not hiding in distant galaxies. They are here, silently woven into the fabric of our society. The challenge is recognizing the signs. One of the most striking clues lies in the fascination of humanity's elite with space and immortality. Billionaires invest heavily in private space programs, genetic research, and artificial intelligence. Could it be coincidence, or are these endeavors part of a deeper, inherited mission? If the Anunnaki came from the stars, then it makes sense that their descendants would feel a natural pull to return there. The push to colonize Mars, the development of space habitats, and the search for exoplanets might not just be human ambition. It might be ancestral memory awakening within those who carry traces of the Anunnaki bloodline. The obsession with immortality also aligns with ancient accounts. The Anunnaki were said to live for thousands of years, their lifespans stretching far beyond human limits. Modern science is now focused on extending human life through genetic engineering, stem cell research, and anti-aging technology. Could this be more than a pursuit of health? Could it be a subconscious desire to reclaim the lost longevity of the Anunnaki heritage? The elites funding these projects may not only be serving humanity, they may be serving themselves, attempting to unlock dormant genetic codes inherited from their otherworldly ancestors. Another dimension worth examining is the presence of secret societies and organizations that appear to guard hidden knowledge. Groups such as the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and other ancient brotherhoods are often accused of manipulating world events behind the scenes. While conspiracy theories abound, the symbolism these groups use cannot be ignored. The all-seeing eye, the winged sun disk, the serpent, and the star alignments are not random. They are deeply tied to the same motifs that appear in Sumerian and Babylonian mythology. It is as if these societies are not only preserving ancient knowledge, but also ensuring that the descendants of the Anunnaki remain in positions of influence. But perhaps the clearest evidence is found in the human body itself. Genetic studies reveal anomalies in human DNA that raise more questions than answers. For instance, the sudden appearance of the negative blood type has puzzled scientists for decades. Unlike most humans, people with negative blood lack a common protein found in the rhesus monkey, making them biologically distinct. They are also more likely to have higher IQs, unusual sensitivity to sunlight, and heightened psychic or intuitive abilities. Some researchers suggest this blood type could be a marker of Anunnaki lineage. Interestingly, many European royal families carry a high percentage of negative blood, strengthening the theory that ruling bloodlines are deliberately preserved to maintain extraterrestrial heritage. Skeptics, of course, dismiss these ideas, but the coincidences are hard to ignore. How is it that so many myths across cultures describe gods who intermingled with humans, teaching them advanced knowledge? Why do archaeological sites around the world, Egypt's pyramids, Stonehenge, Pumapunku, and others, display a level of engineering skill that seems out of place for their time? If humans were guided, who were the guides? The answer many point to is clear: the Anunnaki and their descendants. As we examine history, patterns emerge. Consider the sudden rise of the Sumerians, who seemingly appeared out of nowhere with advanced mathematics, astronomy, and written language. Or the ancient Egyptians, who built monuments aligned perfectly with the stars. Or the Mayans, whose calendar accurately predicted astronomical cycles that even modern science struggles to explain. In every case, humanity appears to have received bursts of advanced knowledge, as if someone, or something, was intervening. Were these interventions the work of surviving Anunnaki descendants, ensuring that humanity did not lose its connection to the stars? The possibility also exists that not all Anunnaki descendants share the same agenda. Some may guide humanity toward enlightenment and progress, while others may exploit it for power and control. Ancient texts themselves describe conflicts among the Anunnaki, rivalries between gods, and wars fought over humanity's destiny. If their descendants inherited these rivalries, then the struggles we see in global politics, religion, and economics could be echoes of ancient celestial disputes. The wars between nations, the competition for resources, and the battle over ideologies might not just be human struggles. They could be continuations of an ancient cosmic conflict. In modern times, those suspected of carrying Anunnaki bloodlines are often accused of manipulating world events through hidden networks. Families such as the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and other dynasties are frequently mentioned in theories about global control. While much of this remains speculative, it is undeniable that power tends to remain concentrated within certain families, passed down generation after generation. Whether this is due to wealth, strategy, or something deeper, like ancient heritage, remains an open question. The influence of possible Anunnaki descendants may also extend into culture and technology. Visionary figures such as Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and even modern innovators like Elon Musk are often seen as ahead of their time. Could their extraordinary minds be the result of dormant genetic memories resurfacing? Are they fulfilling an inherited mission to guide humanity toward a new age of discovery? The fact that these individuals often focus on electricity, energy, space, and future technologies makes the question even more intriguing. But if Anunnaki descendants are truly among us, why remain hidden? The answer may lie in the concept of gradual revelation. Sudden disclosure of extraterrestrial origins could destabilize society, collapse religions, and create mass fear. Instead, their influence may be subtle, guiding humanity step by step toward a future where such truths can be accepted. Perhaps the steady increase in UFO sightings, government disclosures about unidentified aerial phenomena, and public fascination with extraterrestrials is part of this process. The stage may be slowly being set for humanity to accept that its origins are not entirely of this earth. The implications of this revelation are enormous. If we are part Anunnaki, then humanity is not just an earthbound species. It is part of a greater cosmic family. This could change how we see ourselves, how we interact with the universe, and how we define the future. For some, it may bring hope the idea that we are destined for the stars, guided by ancient ancestors who have been with us all along. For others, it may bring fear the possibility that hidden forces control our destiny in ways we cannot resist. Ultimately, the question remains, are the Anunnaki descendants already among us? The evidence, myths, symbols, DNA mysteries, unexplained monuments, and the patterns of history suggests the possibility is real. Yet, until undeniable proof emerges, the debate will continue. What cannot be denied, however, is the influence of the Anunnaki story itself. It challenges our understanding of history, forces us to question the nature of power, and inspires us to look beyond the ordinary for extraordinary answers. As humanity stands on the edge of a new age, one of space exploration, artificial intelligence, and genetic mastery, the echoes of the Anunnaki grow louder. Whether or not their descendants walk among us, their legacy is alive in our ambitions, our myths, and our relentless drive to reach for the stars. Perhaps the true question is not if they are among us, but when they will reveal themselves openly. Will they emerge as guides, leading us into a golden age, or as rulers, demanding allegiance as they once did in ancient times? Only the future will tell. Until then, the story of the Anunnaki remains one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. It is a story that refuses to be silenced, a story etched in stone thousands of years ago, now whispered in the winds of conspiracy, faith, and curiosity. Maybe the truth has been before us all along, not in the stars above, but in the blood that flows through our veins.